Every day people come up to me asking me the same question. They always tell me that even though I couldn't complete Modern Warfare 2, I might be able to do it in Modern Warfare 3. Can you beat Modern Warfare 3 without jumping? We're gonna find out. The only time I'm allowed to jump is for progression. I'll try to do everything in my power to avoid jumping, but if I have to do it, I'll do it. At the end, there'll be a count of how many times I jump throughout the whole game. So let's just start. My first challenge was actually playing the game. You see, I had three options. Either A, buy the game on Steam for $30, even though it's full of malware and I could get my PC hacked, or B, record it on an Xbox 360. Problem with that, however, is recording is really difficult and it's in low quality as well, because I have some trash Chinese USB. I can't afford a good capture card. Do I look like a channel with 1,000 subscribers? Or I could do C, the secret third method. After legally obtaining a copy of the game, we get to the part where the game asks you if you will be offended or not. I say no and we get started. We start off where Modern Warfare 2 ended, where we all changed our clothes somehow and now we're in India. So it has flashbacks of all these things that happened in Modern Warfare 2. Two W's turn into an MW and then a 3, and then now the real first mission begins. And we meet our new ragtag group of heroes, Delta Force, Delta Squad, what was it? In this group we are a man named Frost. We start off in a burning car in the middle of New York. To be fair, I feel like most people in New York are in a burning car anyway. Some cool buildings collapse and then we get handed a magazine. I like how he hands it to him too. This is probably the best part of the mission, to be honest. The first thing I do before I do anything is unbind my jump button. I don't want to have another accident like last time. We fight our way through the streets of New York like usual. While we're here, Sandman jumps over a vending machine and encourages us to do the same. However, I do whatever I want, so I walked around the vending machine instead. And I also found a piece of intel. I'm not going to collect all 46 pieces, but I'll just grab what I see. After getting some tinnitus, we move on. Me and the boys commit some war crimes by killing some unarmed injured guy for no reason. And then we get to our actual first obstacle of the game. They want us to climb onto this piece of wood. I didn't want to do that and I told Truck the same. But he ignored me and still climbed anyway. I reload my checkpoint to see if there's anything on the same floor that could help me. Sandman keeps shouting at me while I explore every random bit of the map.
Frost, quit dragging ass! We gotta move! Frost, get your head in the game! Frost, quit dragging ass!
I also found out that if you leave the building you just instantly fail. After spending a bunch of time looking around I come up with a new idea. Parkour. I carefully maneuver myself into the balcony. This then allows me to just walk onto the wood. And we've gone past the first obstacle, but there's many more to come. There's like 20 missions left. We get to the roof and blow up an antenna. I love Overlord's voice so much, it's just so good for some reason.
Roger, 01. All systems are operational.
Frost, establish an uplink with the Predator and buy us some time.
Why would I want to link with a Predator? Eventually a helicopter comes to pick us up, but then we get onto our next problem. See, the game wants me to jump onto the helicopter to board it, but I didn't really want to do that. I try ramping on things to get onto the balcony, but it doesn't let me. I'm pretty sure there's no other way to progress other than jumping in the helicopter. However, I'm not going to count this one. This is because I don't actually press the jump button here, I press F. And the only jump that happens here is in the cutscene with Frost. So I didn't jump, Frost jumped. So I'm not going to count this one. We get on the minigun and shoot a bunch of helicopters and everything starts blowing up. I nearly fall out of the helicopter and none of my friends help me because they will hate me. Thanks a lot, guys. I climb back in and that's the first mission complete. Our next mission, we are now underwater and we have to take control of a submarine. We put a silly prank on the submarine and then drive off. For some reason there's like magazine gossip and lies about Shepard. I don't even know what this is. Sandman obliterates this guy's skull for literally no reason. Sandman again shoots an unarmed civilian. We fire away through the submarine, then we have to go breach through a door. We do a silly missile launch, then we get in this dinghy. This boat full of mines comes next to us and I obviously shoot the mines. I don't know why you have like 50 mines on your boat anyway. We get in the helicopter and now on the next mission. We go back to our Task Force 141 boys. They're in a bit of trouble because they're in the middle of somewhere in India, surrounded by enemies, and Soap is about to die.
Who's your best man?
Yuri, ex-Spetsnaz. Only man I know who hates Makarov more than you.
Get him.
You can tell how powerful someone is by how much they hate Makarov in this game. I feel bad for Yuri. It's his first day on the job. The first thing that happens to him is a helicopter just crashing in through the roof. It's here that Nikolai gives us our primary objective for the game.
Do whatever this man says!
Yeah, I've been doing that for the past 3 games, mate. The doctor ends up dying, unfortunately. How unlucky. We give him a needle and then Price brutalizes some random soldier. We also get a deagle in this mission. The deagle in this game is so ugly. I don't know why they chose like this puke green and disgusting orange color scheme. However, a deagle is still a deagle because this thing is crazy powerful. Like you shoot someone with it, they'll just go flying backwards. We watch some more war crimes get committed and make our way throughout the whole city. Civilian my arse, this guy was trying to shoot us. I get stuck on this bit for a while because I am a noob. We get into a building and go into the basement where we find a tank here for some reason. I don't know who has a mini tank in their basement, but whatever. We get on the tank and take a look at Yuri. For some reason though, Yuri looks exactly like Kamarov from COD 4. I don't know why they couldn't have used the camera model from this game, because he's in this game. But they used the really old crusty camera. Why couldn't they just use the Yuri's model? He's in the game too. No, whatever. Blow some helicopters up and shoot some guys with our tank and then get in the helicopter. Those guys also just left me behind for some reason, so I had to go fight my way back through the whole thing. While running, a tree just so happens to fall in front of me, and the game really wants me to jump over it, but I walk around it because I'm a boss.
I'm the
They drop an airstrike on me and I collapse into the river.
bloody hell, Yuri.
We get started with our next mission where we are on a plane and we are security guard of the Russian president. I like how during this as well there's just people like just getting shot and no one hears it apparently.
It's all up to you. Face it.
I don't like him.
No one does. That's why he's good at his job. I'll see you at dinner.
We have a very important meeting because we need peace about something, I don't know. This mission is actually my favourite mission because it's very cool and good and stuff. Anyway, we fire through the plane where there's some minor turbulence. Remember there's a glitch here as well, you can unlock the Gangster 5-7. This commander guy really likes the president and his safe room, he keeps talking about it non-stop.
We have to find the president.
There's still some more bad guys and the plane just crashes in half. We eat half a plane to the face and somehow we survive that, I don't know. I really like this Leonard guy. He's so determined to find the president, he pulls us out of this flipping rubble from half a plane on our head. It's here, however, we go into our next obstacle. A tree. The game really wants you to climb over this tree, so I try everything I can do. I'm going up to random things on the wall, seeing if I can climb them. I go over to the side, seeing if I can go through like some random hidden secret or something. I backtrack as far as I can. I try seeing if there's like a corner of the thing I can go through, but no. There's some trees in the middle that are broken, but you can't climb up them or do anything useful with them. I look at speedruns to see what they do, but the speedrun just climbs over it like normal. I try everything I can to get past this. Most of the stuff that looks like you can climb it, you just go through it. Going back into the plane obviously doesn't do anything. I try shooting the tree, doesn't really do anything. I try to clip through the tree, but it's just not working. They really want you to climb this one tree for some reason. Pretty sure there's no way to avoid this tree, so eventually I have to jump over it. I have a jump button binded, so I bind it to the most useful key possible. Pause break. Anyway, jump over the thing. Anyway, jump over the thing. Sadly, this is our first jump of the game, which really kind of sucks, but oh well. I hope there's not many more after this, right? We fight our way through gangster style, and eventually I run out of ammo with my 5.7, but for some reason he like still pretends to shoot it even when it doesn't have any bullets. It's kind of weird. Anyway, eventually we reunite with the president, and now we have to get him into the helicopter. I open the door and... You little shit! Why'd you have to kill the best character in the whole game? So his plan is to nuke Europe, and apparently he's gonna take Europe. What? Oh, this guy's a flipping lunatic anyway, it doesn't matter. So you just killed two of the best characters in the game, and now we go back to our boring Task Force 141. We start off in a swamp, and then some guy gets stabbed. And then, of course, we get into another challenge. This wall here. The game really wants us to climb this. I try finding another way up, but I can't. I keep brushing up against walls and rocks, but there's nothing that can help me here. And anything that looks like it could help me, you need to jump to get up to. Even some of the rocks you can just pass through. There was this big nail in the floor that I thought could help me, but it was basically useless. I could kind of ramp off it, but there was no way I was going to clear enough distance to go over the wall. Again, I go to the speedrun to see if something there could help me, and here they just climb it as well. I tried basically everything I could and couldn't find a workaround, so that brings us to 2 presses of the jump button. We take some good shots, then we go up to this watchtower. Up here there's another clumsy guy on the chair. This guy must be some distant relative of that one Russian guy from Modern Warfare 2, because he acts basically the exact same. We start sniping from the watchtower and eventually get overrun. We start making our way through and I ask this gentleman if I can use his weapon. After getting some grievous bodily harm charges, our technical explodes and we have to keep running. So it's a Rainmaker like Primo card on this random African guy, and not only did that do physical damage, it also did psychological damage to his mind. We fall through the roof and eat a machete to the face and die. Lucky for me though, I am a time god, so I travel back in time and kill him. We get on a mortar and get even more grievous bodily harm charges and start running to a church. While we make our way to the helicopter, this doggy wants a pet. I lightly pet the dog by giving it 3 bullets to the jugular, but unfortunately they got away with the cargo. I'm sure it's nothing important anyway. For our war crimes we committed, we have been sent to Canary Wharf. Our punishment is we have to play as Mr. Burns. We got Warcroft and Griffin from that first mission we did in COD 4. Hopefully they've psychologically recovered from seeing their comrade fall into the water and drown. We do some stealth stuff and these guys are watching the footy. Obviously I have to kill them and watch it myself. I wasn't happy with the result, so like any British man I stabbed the TV to death. These 2 guys don't manage to notice the massive red laser locking onto their foreheads and they die. After killing all the strange balding men, we open the lorry and find nothing in it. We run into a train station and hop on the truck. Our driver seems to mistake the train tracks for a road and we end up driving on the train tracks. We do a cool train chase and then
Shit! Fuck me! Shit! What the fuck? I don't fucking know! Stop screaming! Stop!
We walk the several explosions off and crawl under a train. Wallcroft completes a camo challenge for his knife and then we move on to the staircase. The staircases end up being fine, but what comes after the staircase is truly disgusting. We get to a ticket check where normally you would put your ticket in and get through. Fortunately, I forgot to pay for a train ticket due to the fact the train exploded. So I'm left with two options: A, go through the rubble and get a ticket, or B, sneak around. Obviously, I don't want to commit a crime, so I'm going to find another way around so it doesn't look like a crime. I run back down to see if there's anything I can push around. There's nothing. I mean, there's this laptop, but then there's nothing. I take some money from the register, but that's nothing. I found out if I go down the stairs, Wallcroft follows me, but if I go up them, he goes ahead without me. I try using this to my advantage by having him come down and try pushing him through it. I try and remind him that we can't cross without a ticket, but he doesn't budge. If I can get him to come down here, maybe I can push him around and use him as like a boost over the thing. Problem is, every time I come back up, he's insistent on running through the gates. If I try blocking him, he just coalesces like he's Reaper or something. I try grinding up on the walls to no avail. I see these chains that I can easily crawl under, but for some reason the game just won't let me. Eventually some backup shows up, but no one helps me through the gate. I managed to use Wallcroft to boost myself on top of the escalator. Unfortunately, this does literally nothing for me, as there's no way I can make it from the one escalator to another without jumping. If I can get him to go up on the side escalators, then maybe I can climb on top of the side rail and use that to walk around. To try and get him to move, I try slashing him, but he doesn't seem to care. I try throwing grenades at him, but then he just throws them away. No matter what I do, he seems insistent on climbing up the middle one specifically. I can try slowly pushing him around, but it's kind of difficult to do. He won't stand still forever and eventually starts moving, which makes it harder to budge him. He also just sometimes goes through the escalators, which once again proves that he is Reaper from Overwatch. Eventually I do manage to push him into the escalator I want him on. Perfect. I try using him as a ramp, but again, using a human being as a ramp is quite difficult. And also every time I slip up, he tries running past me again. After he escapes, I spend ages trying to push him back into position, but eventually he slips through my grasp. I reload my save and punish all these guys for not paying for their ticket. Fortunately, I might become a hypocrite if I can't find a way past. I run all the way back to the start, but that doesn't help at all. I keep reloading to get him back, but it's just a waste of time. This guy dies in a weird position. I see if I can use it for a boost. Unfortunately, all it does is make me look like some kind of offender. After a while, I eventually realise that the thing I want to get up to just has an invisible wall blocking me off. So I can get onto all other parts of the escalator fine, but not this part. I keep trying to glitch through like corners and walls and stuff, but I can't do anything. After about 30 minutes of grinding on walls like a stripper, I kinda gave up and jumped over the thing. So now I'm on my third jump. We get out of the station and shoot a lorry, and then it cuts to some random family vacation. Instead of recording my family, I record other things like interesting birds and a telephone box. A charity truck shows up, but they were actually carrying napalm instead of any actual donated goods. Classic mistake. Well, now that mission's over, we are now back as Frost. We decide to take a break and head to Germany for a holiday. Fortunately, when we were booking the holiday, we didn't realise there was a Russian invasion going on, so that's our mistake. So I guess it's our problem now. Anyway, this is probably the most forgettable mission in the game, so I'll spare you the details. Guy on tank gets shot in the head, we get in the tank. We shoot some guys in the back because we're honourable people. We tear down the rest of the car park, but unfortunately because we tear down the car park we're inside, that means cars will fall on us and stuff will crush us. We hide in the tank and we just have a sit around for a bit. We eventually get bored of just sitting in the tank doing nothing and leave it. This banger starts playing and I get slightly distracted. I witness a comrade die in front of me and become traumatized for the rest of my life. We do some breach and clearing the most efficient way, via grenade launcher. And this guy crawling on the floor just dies. I guess he had a heart attack or something, or it might have something to do with the explosion that detonated right in his face. Who knows? After rescuing the vice president, we're back to Yuri. We get on the phone to the Scottish icon Macmillan. He tells us we should pay a visit to this guy. We use the best method of greeting someone for the first time, driving several cars through their gates and killing all their people. Price hits some clean 1Ds and then we move on. I found this shell shock guy who didn't seem to care about me. I get distracted by this song. I sit back and let them do all the work and then we breach through to his office. We do the best breaching method again. It actually might not be the best breaching method. It's always important to make a good first introduction, so we start off by killing all his friends to show us that we're the dominant and more important and cooler ones. We then next give him a housewarming gift of gas. Unfortunately he doesn't seem to like the toxic gas too much. But fortunately for him we have also brought a second gift for him. He actually tells us that he has a crooked knee, so soap helps him out by stomping on it. After having a nice conversation, we eventually give him the second gift and depart ways. Remember hearing about this guy who has an AK with every single attachment on it? But unfortunately he gets crushed by the rubble before you can grab it. You can save him by killing him instead of letting the rubble crush him. Unfortunately he's managed to glue the gun to his hand, so we can't get the gun. I managed to bug it like crazy. I'm not even sure what's going on here. After trying multiple times I can't get the gun, I'm very sorry. But I mean you can stare at it, yeah look, see. The helicopter we've been using crashes into us. Then the game tells me to jump on this rope. I'm obviously not going to do that, so I just walk into it. The good thing for me is that the game doesn't care and just lets me go down it. There's some big sandstorm and we can't see anything. We eventually get through and save our good buddy Nikolai. Tricky Nicky. We escape and we're on to another mission now. As punishment for the one time we stomped some guy's head off, we have been sent to France. France has also been hit with the chemical attack. The good thing with them is that the French people are already brain dead, so that means the chemicals had no effect on them. Frenchies surprisingly haven't surrendered and they are still standing here. There's only like 5 of them left, but there's still an army here. We make our way through the streets of Paris and end up in the sewers. We are able to take our masks off because the gas isn't toxic anymore, it just smells like piss now. This place is really scary and this guy tries to jump scare us for a laugh. Saber wasn't a big fan and ended up killing him. We have to capture some guy named Volk. We punch out this glass because I don't like glass, it's very hurty. For some reason we decide to leave the last like 2 French people alive behind. Well, maybe they can repopulate France, it's fine. We get in the back of the van and start spraying because we're really cool. The cars like explode and start bugging into each other and that's cool. We eventually catch up to their car and pretend we're playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. We give him a good head bashing before we capture him, then move on to the next mission. In this mission we get to do one of the best activities available in France, leaving. For some reason my guns are glowing red. Then we get put in an AC-130. We blow up some stuff and then we go back to our character. We seem to be in a pretty bad situation, so I try deserting but the door's locked, so I guess, I don't know. We pick up an MSR and hit some stonky donkey quickscopes. We're almost at the end and we start calling in airstrikes. Unfortunately, the army has recruited some blind airstrikers, then the Eiffel Tower falls down. After we make a big mess in France, we go to Prague. Where is Prague? I have no clue. If you had a gun to the back of my head and asked me to point out Prague on a map, I wouldn't even waste your time trying to guess, I would just let you pull the trigger. Anyway, shout out to all 3 people watching from Prague. We start the mission in a sewer and we get dragged out by Kamarov. We do your typical Call of Duty stealth mission and then a dumpster. Soap wants to climb on top of Activision, which makes a big problem for me, so I'll try find another way around. I checked the speedruns and as usual it is completely useless. I don't think it's been useful one time like the past few videos. I try shimmying into the corner but obviously Activision doesn't budge. I realised that I first of all had to climb on top of Ubisoft first and then I had to climb over a fence, which meant 2 presses if I couldn't find a way around. I try asking the Russians if they can help me but I realised there's no way out of this, so I eventually climb on top of North American Counter-Strike. After that there was still the fence. I try using soap to push me through the wall but that's not going to work as basic physics doesn't let that happen, so that means I do have to climb over the fence. So that adds 2 onto our total now. Kamarov and Price assemble the Avengers on top of the building and then we wreak havoc on the streets of Prague. We make it to our destination, then we're on to Blood Brothers. We get on the sniper and pretend we're in Pripyat. Price rappels down and actually walks into an ambush. Kamarov gets blasted into goo and then Makarov calls us his friend and then Soap throws us out of the window and then he explodes and then we tumble down the scaffolding and then Soap's bleeding out and we gotta save him. We have to drag Soap very far away and as he's bleeding out, it's not good. We put Soap on a table and he begins to have a little nap. Right, you fucking snitch. Price takes his copy of Diary of a Wimpy Kid and then we open the door to start the next mission. It seems Price is also a poet.
So trusted you. I thought I could too. So why in bloody hell does Makarov know you?
So apparently our man Yuri was very important to the plot of the whole game actually. He saved the guy whose arm got shot off in COD 4 that we never saw. He detonated the nuke that killed 30,000 men in the blink of an eye and the world just fucking watched. He also tried to stop the No Russian attack from happening but I guess the police just thought it was like a little cheeky prank call because, you know, still happened. After he shoots us in the stomach with Desert Eagle, he leaves us to rot in the parking lot. We have to infiltrate a stronghold. Price is locked in for this mission. We do more sneaky stuff, then finally execute a man. After entering we kill some people, then we go back out again. They go around some scaffolding and for some reason there's this little tiny jump I have to make for this one little foot of I start trying to find solutions quickly. There's a generator here that if I shoot it, it will explode. I couldn't really find a use for it. I try stabbing it but that actually doesn't work. I try shooting it and that also somehow doesn't work. I also grenade it and it also doesn't seem to move it down. Maybe I can go around it. I'll do jumping 360 off. After a while of this I suck it up and just use the button. We get inside the walls and start climbing up like mole rats. We actually forgot that he has kidnapped the Russian president, I forgot about that. For some reason Makarov's on a little Skype call with his friend who's called Alexei, which is really weird to me that they named this guy because he has like 2 lines and then he just dies anyway in the cutscene. They could have just named him guard number 452 but instead they gave him an actual name. I don't know what they were thinking. For some reason his subtitles are also in green, which makes him an ally I guess. Also staying with this random guard. I get into the kitchen and everyone knows when I'm in the kitchen I start cooking. What's on the menu tonight is human flesh. I pick up a Glock with a switch. We detonate some C4 while we're escaping. As the bridge collapses, we run into a room. I punch a laptop, then go to the window, and there you go. First thing I try is going back and trying to walk around it. Maybe if I fall off here I can land on the road. I did not land on the road. Try shooting at Price to see if that would do anything. Of course it did nothing. I tried pushing Price around, but that doesn't lead to anything. I can't even try wedge myself between Price and a window because he doesn't start his animation until I do mine. I check the speed run and yeah, they just jump over it. I wander around to try and find anything, but there's nothing to really boost me up. It's not like I'm going to be able to find a stool or something to get me up here. I try seeing if there are other windows that I could go out of, but obviously there aren't. Seems like there's nothing else I can do, so I go out the window. We land on the roof of a car and make our way across the bridge. We get in a car and then we drive off a mountain and then we parachute. We go back to Team Delta and Frost. We wake up in the middle of some war-torn battlefield. This mission does that thing they do in shows where it starts you at the end of the mission. While that's cool, it also gives us a spoiler for what's going to be our challenge for the mission, it seems. Anyway, I think I forgot to mention we're back in Germany and we're here to rescue the president's daughter. We climb up to the roof and start sniping. While we're sniping, a team goes in to rescue that person. It doesn't go well for them and I am permanently traumatized by witnessing this death. Now we have to go rescue her. While we do that, a building collapses and it starts us off at the beginning of the mission again. Except it's not actually the beginning of the mission, it's where we're supposed to be. So as we saw earlier, pillars blocking our way. It looks like I could easily run around it, but nope, it's got invisible walls. I turn back around to see if there's anyone still alive who can help me. There's a Private Grant just sitting here doing nothing. Like there's missiles just landing around him and he's just like crouched down like doing nothing. There's also a Sergeant Kelly just like having a sit down while the missiles are dropping around them. I don't know what they're doing. I go to check the speedrun and wouldn't you know it doesn't help. I start shooting and chucking grenades at it. Because the game isn't realistic, the wall doesn't break when any of this happens. It seems the devs hard-coded it to really want you to jump over this thing. I don't know why, but I guess they might have thought it was cool. We jump over it and we continue our way. After using the urinal, there's this collapsed wall the game wants me to hop over. This time there's even less I can try and do. It seems that shooting and throwing grenades and stuff doesn't really do anything, but I'm still worth trying, it might work. We hop over the half wall and that's added to our list. I run through the hotel to try and rescue the daughter. I'm at the place where they're keeping her, but unfortunately my slow ass teammates took too long to get there. Because they took too long, the door spontaneously combusts. We borrowed a Gangster 5.7 for a bit and then we move up to the helicopter. Grinch tries shooting down the helicopter that contains the person we're trying to rescue. It's because he's very smart. Sandman also tells the helicopter to keep moving because he's actually one of the bad guys in this game. Well, that's that. Well, she's dead and the game's over. No, I'm lying. Got you there, didn't I? We start off in an elevator and then one of our random guys dies. While we're going down the elevator, someone shoots a rocket at it. Now, elevators are actually not resistant to rockets, so this one collapses. After the elevator lands, then there's another problem here. I have the mantle to get up out of the elevator. I ask my squad mates for help, but none of them actually care about me and just leave me to rot in the elevator. I restart the mission and this is where the shit just begins. So when I restarted, I spawned outside of the elevator somehow, and so I fell to my death. Then it just started me at the next checkpoint, even though I never got to it. I restart again thinking that I would just fix the problem, but nope, so I have to fully back out of the mission and go back into the mission from the main menu. But even then it starts me at the checkpoint. So then I have to delete the progress and restart the mission from the actual act menu. There I can finally start like actually experimenting with the thing. If I sit on the edge of the elevator right as it's falling down, then it lets me get up to the position it wants me to mantle on, which is good, but I'm stupid and I fall off. So I restart the mission again and that problem isn't happening anymore, so I'm not sure what that was about. Anyway, elevator crashes and I get knocked off the mantle thing again. It seems there's something that knocks me back, so I have to try and resist it. When I restart though, this time the same bug is happening again, so I have to go back to the menu again. After another restart, I try running into the position instead. This didn't seem to work, but I wasn't going to give up so easily. I actually managed to get into the spot, but I fall off again like an idiot, so I restart. But then of course when I restart, the elevator bugs out again, and then it starts me at the checkpoint. But then this time the checkpoint was actually in the position I wanted, so I was actually on top of the mantle. I'm not sure what happened, but I was able to get past that finally. I get a buzz cut and we start getting stuck in the door like a cartoon. It is here that I found out that my earlier victory was short-lived. It allows me to go through the window and outside. I start trying to interact with things and some of these things have physics on them. Like there are these chairs that when you stab they start wiggling. Even though they're wiggling, it seems like they're stuck in place because when I chuck grenades at them they don't go flying. I find this crate but I can't stand on it or anything, it's just like there. I find a toilet and I drop a fat one in there. After not washing my hands I go into the TV room where there are actual televisions. I shoot out all the TVs and computers in there, including all the electrical boxes. It seems that ruining someone's LAN party doesn't mean I'm going to get through the window. This window has even fewer options than the elevator, so I begrudgingly go through the window. Right after going through the window we go outside. We go to a balcony and shoot people, and of course because there's no other way to get down we have to use this slide here. So that means there was no staircase for me, I was going to have to hop over this railing and slide down. I argue with Truck again to not do it, but he does it again. never changes. After watching my friends abandon me to go into the mine, I realized I can use the Predator missile, but it seems their troops are actually afraid of the Predator missile and refuse to go outside, which is another way of saying the AI doesn't spawn unless I get down there as well. I try running down and seeing if the Modern Warfare 2 grandma can help me out. Fortunately, this is the wrong game, so she doesn't appear. I pull up the laptop and start taking pot shots at random stuff. That actually doesn't seem to do anything. I try shooting a milk crate off the ledge and eventually it goes through. Now if I could do the same thing, that would be good. I tried launching missiles at myself to see if that would somehow help me out. Obviously launching missiles at myself actually didn't do anything, so the next logical step was to launch rockets at myself instead. Unfortunately I'm in the wrong game and rocket jumping doesn't work here. And besides, to rocket jump anywhere I need to jump, so I eventually just used the McDonald's slide and waste a jump. After launching rockets at several infantrymen, we make our way into the mine. This guy's also doing the same concussion animation as that one guy in the last mission. Was his name Grant? After Price kills some injured guys, we breach through the door, and once again use our faithful method.
Wait! It's the door!
I forgot to mention that in this mission we're rescuing the president as well. We go even deeper into the mine and find out that the door doesn't work. We decide to breach through the roof instead. I decide to switch things up for a change, and use a rocket launcher instead. Can you guess what I did next? I tried the old method as well and that seemed to be a problem too. I try leaving a grenade on the roof before we breach through, but we don't breach through quick enough for it to work. We get on the big machine gun and shoot everyone. The helicopter we won again explodes, and apparently my character's weakness is explosives as I get blacked out. I wake up just in time to watch my friends die, but not before they hit some crazy clips. I mean, they could have easily gotten on the helicopter here. There was like a good 5 seconds before everything went to shit. Now that we've ended World War III, it's time to kill Makarov. For real this time, not like the other 3 times we tried. Price dedicates his mass shooting to soap, because without soap we'd all be smelly. We forgot to remind the police that our mass shooting was actually perfectly legal, so they show up as well. We make our way through the hotel and get in the lift. While we're on the elevator, a helicopter starts shooting at us. By the way, having a glass elevator outdoors is stupid. All it takes is one unsupervised kid with a slingshot to ruin this whole thing. Anyway, we shoot down the helicopter and an unsupervised kid flying the helicopter crashes into us. We start burning to death, but Yuri says no and stops burning to death. The elevator's about to collapse, so the next best solution is to get into the other elevator. I try running off, but that doesn't work because the glass is still there and I don't have a gun. The only way the glass breaks is if Yuri shoots it and jumps through it. Unfortunately, the time it takes for him to do that, the elevator collapses. I get a good run here and I clearly get through the window, but the game just doesn't let me. I still try jumping with Yuri at the same time, but it again doesn't work. One time I time it perfectly and land in the elevator, but the game just says no and it clips me through it, which basically lets me know that it's impossible. I time it perfectly again and yet the same thing happens. So anyway, I have to jump now. The reason the game wants me to jump so bad is so it can show me a little cool first person cutscene. Wow. We make our way through the hotel when a rocket lands directly at my feet. Instead of becoming a paraplegic, I instead just go flying backwards, with no damage done to myself. As this happens, the building collapses and I fall off the roof and the game ends. But there's a secret ending you can get where if you press F you actually hang on. We still have to make our way to the roof. On the way there's a filing cabinet perfectly blocking me, telling me to climb over it. Oh god. I run up against it for a bit, but Makarov got away. I try going back to help Yuri out, but I can't. I try jumping off the roof, but that actually doesn't do anything. Because it didn't work the first time, I try it again. Instead I try finding a way around the cabinet, but there's literally no room for anything. Besides, there's also a timer, so I don't have much time to experiment with anything. Seems like my only option here is to just do it. But that should be the last jump of the game anyway. The very next scene, a massive jump prompt appears in the middle of my screen, which is basically the game's way of telling me to kill myself. I try running off, but Price refuses to grab the bars unless I jump. I try watching the helicopter take off, but that doesn't let me do that. I try going around the front of the helicopter, nothing changed. I try running in the opposite direction from the chopper, but it just fails me. I try frolicking in the gardens instead of going to the chopper. I try several more things, but eventually I just give in and jump. I used the power of time travel to dodge this guy's kick and send him to the ground. I use the same power to avoid getting shot in the head right after. After killing the pilot and the co-pilot, the helicopter crashes. After the helicopter crashes, Makarov shoots me in the head and ends the game. I actually try crawling to the gun this time, but he gets the gun first anyway. Yuri comes in to save the day. Price crashes out and starts strangling him. We tie a rope to his neck and break through the glass. After asking Makarov how's it hanging, we light up one last cigar.
Hi guys, Mr. Waffle Waffles here.
The total jumps add up to... it's not that bad, I guess. The moral of the lesson is to always jump in an elevator, otherwise you might clip through the floor and die.